When you think of every Vegas Golden Knight to have ever played, the one that you will think of the most, Mr. Golden Knight, Brayden McNabb. Okay, but seriously though, congrats to passing Marshy on becoming the all-time games played leader in Vegas Golden Knights franchise history. Of course, he was gonna get there. He's been the most consistent and least injured of the three that we currently have, Shea Theodore, William Karlsson, and Brayden McNabb of Original Misfits. And the fact that he replaced Marshy so quickly after the way that Marshy left is probably just good for the fan base, but also at the same time, he's a UFA, and are we going to sign him or not? With our defense system being extremely clogged as it is? No idea. The Vegas Golden Knights win. I don't think it's as visible enough in the frame. 4-2 in regulation, obviously, with that score against the Edmonton Oilers for the first road win in this season for the Vegas Golden Knights. So many different things to talk about, so little time. Let's start with our goalie, Adin Hill, who played magnificently tonight. So far, his best game in the season by far. Hands down, 100%. What an effort from that dude. He kept us in this game despite the fact that, you know, we were down 2-1 going into the like, the reason we were only down by 1 was because of him. He was phenomenal. I'm gonna be completely honest to Edmonton Oilers fans talking about their goalie now. Stuart Skinner was not the issue there. You guys had 4 defensemen, well, players, in your own zone to Vegas's 2. That wasn't Stuart Skinner's fault. No, Hanifin sniped it, which I'm gonna get to that in order, so let's not, okay, go, okay. I don't believe that was Stuart Skinner's fault. He was really good for them tonight. He made fantastic saves all night, really. There was nothing he really could have done on at least 2 of those. And then one of those was an empty netter, so like, let's start in the first with the only goal that happened in the first from Jack Eichel, who gets this feathered, perfect pass from Shea Theodore as he streams into the net zone, basically on his own. He's passed everyone he's got. It's just him and Skinner, and he just dekes him out, pulls it super hard to the forehand as Skinner overcommitted to his right, and he's able to just put it in to the back of the net to make it 1-0 for Vegas. And then they seemingly just sat on that. They parked the bus in the second period, with a 1-goal lead. Edmonton outplayed us the most of that second period until they eventually scored, and that's when Vegas decided to actually take it seriously at that point. The Oilers are doing a good job cycling the puck, keeping it away from Vegas sticks. It gets out to Nurse, who just flings it on, and Kulak tips it in front to make it go past Hill. Tie game 1-1, and that one there's not much Hill can do there. It's a tipped goal, and like, sure, he kind of reacted emphatically after the fact, which just looks weird, but it was tipped. Well, come on, guys. Vegas picked up the pace after this, and they actually had offensive chances, which is good because, you know, in a tie game, you need offensive chances in order to actually win the game. And we won. Why am I angry? Zach Hyman benefits off of a horrid bounce off of the backboards, and he's able to grab this puck and just kind of fling it in off the back of Hill and in. Make the Edmonton Oilers go up 2-1. It is a terrible bounce, and that's also not on Hill, but like, you also want to be ready, but it also happened so fast. It's just a lot. But yeah, so Vegas down by a goal entering the third, which is different because we didn't have the lead and then blow it in the third at the away games like we did with Florida or Tampa Bay. Third period gets going, so do both teams, but Vegas gets a power play, and this call was kind of weak. It was a hold from Nugent Hopkins on Shea Theodore, but being perfectly honest, they called a weak penalty in the very beginning of the game that Edmonton didn't score on, but that's also because their power play sucks. And that's despite the fact that they have Connor McDavid, who just came back for the first time tonight, so he can have a pass even though he's the best player in the league, right? He can get passes, right? Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard. Oh, big, scary offensive man, Evan Bouchard, who should honestly just play forward because, oh my goodness, that guy's stinks on the back end. Seriously, the most overrated player in the league. I can't, like, I'm so glad I looked at the Edmonton Oilers post after this because I was looking for their goals so that I could look at those without ads and stuff. Didn't really help with the Hyman one because that came out of nowhere, and so but they're flaming him, and rightfully so. The dude can put up points, but how much of that is actually him versus the people he's playing with? He's playing with generational talents and is, yeah, definitely benefiting off of that. And I'm sure, like, you have to be good enough to play with them in order to benefit from getting those points. But, like, I'm pretty sure I could have had half the points he did last season, and I suck and have not played professionally at all because I'd be playing with McDavid and Dry. So, like, yeah, no, I'm not buying it. And I hope y'all sign him to like a $9-10 million deal because that'll strap you for as long as you have it. And also, like, get your money, player, right? Brutal on his back end, which we're gonna get to, but on this power play, it's Vegas and they have the puck. William Karlsson gets the puck, and because he couldn't shoot it immediately like he wanted to, you can tell the beam in his eye was just like, I didn't get it. So he rotates and sends it back to the point where Noah Hanifin is. He sends it on, and it goes perfectly in. I don't know if Skinner could see it. It kind of, like, there were a lot of bodies in front, but it makes it a tie game. Noah Hanifin from the Calgary Flames. Edmonton's gotta love that, right? Speaking of Noah Hanifin from the Calgary Flames, now Vegas Golden Knights, with a minute to go, 50 seconds. Alexander Holtz like just sends it in from the red line and then goes for a change. Ivan Barbashev on the forecheck, make sure that he's the first one there because Bush and another Edmonton, I don't know who it was, did not skate towards the puck. They just glided to it, and meanwhile Ivan Barbashev is going for it. He gets there first, grabs the puck, sends it back to Noah Hanifin, who's streaming in. It's just those two, and there's 4 Edmonton Oilers in between them. Similar to the Kings with Brant Clark and the Kopitar goal. And Noah Hanifin snipes it, and it's a 3-2 game with 50 seconds left to go. Highway robbery, and Noah Hanifin, oh man, Battle of Alberta runs deep in his veins. Of course he'll do whatever he can to destroy Edmonton. I'm glad that that stayed because honestly, going from Calgary to Vegas, the rivalry with Edmonton, not as deep, I would probably say, but definitely fresh and an open wound at this point still. So make sure you squeeze some lemon juice in there. Noah Hanifin, fantastic stuff. That's 3 goals in his last 2 games after an admittedly slow start from him to start the season, but he's picked it up. And speaking of people who have picked it up, William Karlsson, who got the primary assist on the power play goal, I didn't mention it then, but I have to go back to do this. He has 6 points in the 5 games that he's played. He's scored a point in every single game that he's played in so far for us. That's just incredible work. I love that my team is showing up and doing so well. It is so great to, you know, have expectations and then actually be surpassing them. You gotta think, you know, that's fantastic to you know, have in your team, right? Sure, y'all had games 4 through 6 last year. That's good for you. We also had a game 5 that we were really good in, and so, you know, we can relate to that a little bit in the Stanley Cup Finals. Don't you agree, Edmonton? And then Edmonton immediately pulls their goalie, and they do a good job of keeping possession in the offensive zone for like 20-30 seconds, but Vegas ends up getting it, and I feel like they kind of wanted to get it to Hanifin to get a hat trick, but they didn't. Aiden Hill grabbed the puck behind the net. I thought he was going to try to shoot it off the side of the boards again to go in, but, you know, didn't happen. And it's Mark Stone that gets the pass and then the empty net goal. He like catches it, brings it down, and then buries it. And so it's a 4-2 regulation win for the Vegas Golden Knights against the Edmonton Oilers after being down by a goal in the 3rd period. There are 2 Edmonton Oilers that I like. Okay, there were 2. Now there's 3, I think. I think I like Jeff Skinner. I'm not 100% sure, but he did have that one moment with Taylor Swift, and I'm a Swiftie, so that makes sense. Of course, I would like him, right? Zach Hyman and Matthias Janmark, I love those dudes. Matthias the Yan Man, scored a hat trick in Game 7 against Minnesota for us. We'll always remember that, hold that dear. He plays super hard. I love that guy and his work ethic. Same with this guy. His work ethic with Toronto was phenomenal, and they didn't ever try him on the power play. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn then, but then he goes to Edmonton, has a 50-goal season, is fantastic and definitely worth what his contract is. Worth is more, and he's struggled so far this year, but so is all of Edmonton. And so I really like Zach Hyman. I'm glad we won. Obviously, Vegas, but it was good to see him score, kind of. He is one of the, I guess now 3 Edmonton Oilers that I am begrudgingly like, they scored, but not like in putrid hatred. Putrid hatred? I don't know what I'm saying. It's late. This month is going to be a grueling test for Vegas because we have the most amount of road games in this single month compared to the rest of the season at 9. And we have home games first, so it's not like a great long road trip, but it is a lot of travel and stuff. And because we were 0-3-1 on the road entering this game, it really felt good to get a road win against a division rival, against this team with McDavid back in the lineup. I hope he's healthy. Wishing injury on any opponent, it does not make any sense. I don't even wish that on Evander Kane. All the best recovery to him. I hate his guts, but I really it would feel that much better to win with him in the lineup, right? I'm saying all this because I hope that McDavid is healthy and has a healthy season for Edmonton and is able to be in the lineup at 100% when we beat them in the second round of the playoffs this year. First round, third round, who knows at this rate? Who knows what's going to happen? But that was a great game from Adin Hill. Stuart Skinner did really well for the most part, from my perspective at least. But him in net, I don't think long-term is a sustainable thing. He had a good run in the second half of the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, and that's good. But, that's not great. And then Evan Bouchard, dude, is... just a turnstile in his own end, such a liability. I would seriously suggest moving him to forward and, having him, but then where do you have more defense? Because Edmonton struggles with it's just this giant loop, right? With Edmonton, feeling a lot more secure with a good defense that has been struggling because they can't get their structure rather than because of lack of personnel. Feeling great because we got 2 more points. Feeling great with no Hanifin. Feeling great with a victory Flamingo on the road for the first time this season. That's going to be it for Game 13's Nightly Review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.